ready.
What's going on? You're listening to the Waffletop podcast. My name is Paulo, the biggest talk. I've got two guests with me today. One of them being the next member of the podcast, Femi.
Come on.
Fifafemz, bro. Yeah, Twitch man now. And then also I've got Row Black, sorry. So musician, sound engineer, producer. Am I missing out? Gamer.
You got it, man. Full-time pimp.
Oh shit!
I had to throw that on his head.
No, it's calm. It's calm, bro.
Keep it out real quick.
We leave that in there. But we're here today. It's the first time, but man had to just do this, bro. Xbox X v PlayStation 5, bro. Obviously, Row is a big gamer. Man's been screaming Xbox for a couple of years. Femi and me were swayed with the PlayStation because we got PS4s. So, but then obviously since watching the PS5 launch, we're going to share our views on that. We're going to look into Xbox X, PlayStation 5, the differences, what's better, and then our general opinions really. But Mandem, I've got to start with the PlayStation 5 launch.
Absolute shambles, mate. Absolute shambles.
You know what? Febby was like to me before it started. Febby was like, he was scratching his neck already. He was like to me, "Oh, this event's gonna be mad. PlayStation have so much underneath their sleeve."
Oh, you know, like, and John, they're so mad about it. Yeah, I'm actually not a PlayStation guy or even necessarily an Xbox guy. Yeah, I'm just a guy that I'm like yourself, really. I like what's best. The only reason I PlayStation is because all my brethren have PlayStation, so I wanted to get my brethren. Like that was the only.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I don't even really know why I was trying to defend PlayStation like that. But you know, like I don't know if it would be decent compared to what Xbox have shown, innit? So when I'm like, yeah, cool. I've read the stats. Yeah. Statistics look good. So hopefully, I'm expecting good things, innit? We get to the live event now.
Mandem saw one of the games, Be a Virtual Cat. What's that all about, bro?
Bro, it's a joke, man. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're marketing it for our age group, innit?
Yeah, I think they're going more for like the Nintendo kind of.
Yeah, young kids.
Audience.
Yeah, man. And it's
like more.
Like even a lot of the games there was like the kids that you'd put your like 5 or 6 year old niece or nephew like to play with. None of us.
We was grown men watching this whole thing for it was a circus.
Over an hour.
It was over an hour. I couldn't believe how much time I wasted. Like, but obviously with me as well, I prefer Xbox, yeah. But for some reason, I wanted this event to be good. I wanted it to be good. I wanted to see what PlayStation had to offer.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be up to par. But from what they've shown so far, I'm disappointed. You know what I mean? How do you feel, Paulo?
Bro, honestly, for me, like before this, I was, anyway, because we've had many conversations.
Yeah. I
wasn't even trying to hear Xbox. Like, I just was like, no. And then I actually, for once, sat down, looked more at the technical side of it. And then I compared and stuff. And like watching the launch, like I joined it a bit late. So these men were on PlayStation. I come in, I was like, oh shit, the launch. Let me just put it on.
Yeah.
I've joined, before I started watching it, these lot are busting up at a game that has been shown on. So I'm just like, what's going on? This is nuts. Let me put it on YouTube. So we're all watching it in a party, talking, whatever. And then, like I'd missed, like, so for me, because I'd seen it from the point, I'd missed Spider-Man. And there was two other games in it that were decent they were showing on there.
Yeah, they showed some GTA stuff and...
Yeah, I missed them games. So I'm just watching the kids stuff, bro. And like, literally it was a joke, bro.
You see the GTA thing. I will get back to all of it, but I think Rockstar are taking liberties with they are sucking the life out of. I can't believe the audacity they have to enhance that for PlayStation 5. You know what I mean? I'd rather them just leave it, and then just work on GTA 5. You don't have to announce it yet. I don't think we're gonna get GTA 5 till GTA 6 until about 2022, 2023 if they're enhancing it. But I feel like they should have just left that behind. They shouldn't have even announced that at the show. That shouldn't have even taken up any of the time at the show. You know what I mean? That should just be something they should have said later on.
And you know the worst thing is the way they did it as well. It gassed everyone. Everyone's like,
I saw Rockstar. I was like, no. I think I shut it down. That's a Rockstar logo, and then they said GTA 5 Enhanced 2021. Not even 2020, 2021. That's something to look forward to. That they take liberties.
And even then I was thinking, okay, but halfway through the Rockstar bit, I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're going to do what they did last time. They're going to bring out GTA 5 again, and then I don't know, they're going to announce in this little clip that and GTA 6 is coming out end of the year, whatever. And that's it. That's it. 5 next year on 4K. I've sold the Game Pass 4 times already, bro. Like,
I'm not buying it again. I absolutely promise I'm not buying. I'm not putting no.
There's actually no point. There's actually no point. Remember, like all these consoles should be backwards compatible anyway. So your PS4 or your Xbox One game should work in your new thing. So why are you going to buy the game again? It doesn't even make sense. Like 10 it's not bad. You know what I'm saying? And like, bro. And like, you think, so what? They sold it to us on the PS3 or Xbox 360. Then they sold it to us on the PC. If you have a PC, there's some man who would have bought it on both. PS4 and the Xbox One, and now they're trying to sell it to us for a 4th time. That's buying one game, bro.
You mentioned something. You mentioned something there. Let me just deep this for a second, just so people didn't catch what you said. Think about how many consoles have come out since fucking GTA's come out, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying?
3 generations. 3 generations. 3 generations. I was in college. I just finished college, when GTA 5 came out. Yeah. And that was about 7 years ago. That was 7 years ago. 7 years ago. And then now it's too much Rockstar, man.
I think the thing is for me as well is the reason why I know this is because when you look at it, they're the highest selling game anyway. Like they're still bad numbers. Like even
they can't get enough money, man.
There's no reason for them to really try and go. They're just being greedy, man. They're actually just being greedy. Like,
no, I hear what you lot are saying. But when we go back to the PS5 launch now, like obviously we've seen a couple games being shown. Now, personally, for me, I think if you're marketing a new console, you want to show games. I appreciate it's being shown to every audience, but bro, what justice are they doing by showing some of them games? I mean, like, there was the other game where, bro, I couldn't even tell you what was going on in it. I saw 2 strawberries and a mushroom on the floor. Like it was nuts,
that's what I gave up.
It was
I started laughing when I saw that happen. I was like, no way, they're wasting. You guys saw my story on Instagram. I was like, these are wasted.
The worst thing about that bit as well is you see like how they were showing the strawberries. The graphics on that were terrible.
Terrible. They didn't to do
graphics. It's like they weren't even just like the average graphics. They're actually bad graphics. They weren't good at all. Like the graphic thing, throughout this whole presentation, I was thinking maybe it's just the fact that they're streaming it over YouTube compression. They're not getting the stream right. The quality's not great. But I'm thinking like, nah, it's actually just not any better than PlayStation 4. It's not. Yeah. It didn't look. If they told me that was PlayStation 4 games running on PlayStation 4, I've got no reason not to believe them.
Yeah. No. What were you gonna say, Paulo?
No, but that's what I was gonna say. It's so like when I seen that, and obviously I've come in at the point where they're showing the childish games now. So, but for what you got to appreciate is personally, I don't know how well they marketed this launch. Like, how long did you lot know this launch was happening for?
What, the PlayStation? I think
PlayStation
about
5 launch.
2 weeks.
I thought about 2 weeks, a week or so, 2 weeks. So they said, they got pushed back to 11th of June.
So even 2 weeks, is like considering they're launching a new console. For me, I don't feel like there's a lot of time to give people because some people might not see it or like. So this is like, for example, with me, I didn't see it. So I've gone onto it at a point where I've missed the good games. Like, I'm just watching pure shit, bro. And do you know what I'm saying?
No, this is the truth. This is the truth. But this is what I'm saying. I remember, like, let's say 3 months ago. Remember when I was speaking about? I already knew the specs and stuff for the Xbox, and I was posting about it and everything months ago. And like, if anything, I was one of the first people to say that. I know that Xbox can be better than PlayStation 5 time ago. Can we all agree on that? Yeah. So it's just that the fact that I knew that this wasn't going to go well. Just the way that Sony was moving, they was moving uncomfortable. When have they ever released the controller first and then the console? Do you know what I mean? So Sony are under serious pressure, and that show shows that was a demonstration. That showed it that they just threw everything together. Like, do you know what I realized today? You see this? I was impressed by the Spider-Man game, but you know, I just realized that game's a DLC. It's not actually a new game.
Oh, really?
It's not a new game. It's a DLC for the current Spider-Man.
Oh, so Spider-Man's got a couple of DLCs.
Yeah. That's what I've heard that this new Spider is a DLC. It's not actually a game. I watched it. I saw it on YouTube. Yeah, it's not actually a new whole game.
So man can download that now onto my console now.
No, I don't think it's out right now. I think it's going to be coming out on, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I heard.
Like an exclusive DLC or whatever.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. It's just not enough from Sony, man. They're in problems because other than that, I was surprised by Horizon Zero Dawn 2, even though I still believe those graphics are the same as Horizon Zero Dawn 1, which are good graphics. Yeah. But they still, those graphics that I saw in the presentation, they look like PS4 graphics.
Gran Turismo.
You know what I'm saying?
GT?
Terrible.
No, see, Gran Turismo, I'm not gonna, I said it when I was watching it, yeah. I said, if you actually just showed me this clip and didn't say nothing about Gran Turismo, I swear to God, I would have said, oh, they're bringing out a new track for Gran Turismo Sport. The HUD is exactly the same. Everything is the same. It looks exactly the same. Nothing that actually says that it's a new game. All we do is hope that actually they've done some sort of advancement, because obviously Gran Turismo is a Sony brand. You know what I'm saying? It's a Sony thing. So entertainment. So I'm hoping that they've at least leveraged the knowledge they have on their new console with the new game. And that's all we can
This is what I'm seeing from Sony, because I've heard that obviously they've spent so much money in they don't have enough money for this PlayStation 5. They are going to be losing money when they release this console. They are guaranteed to lose money. Do you know what I mean? And they're not gonna have a lot of consoles to sell. They're gonna sell out quick. You know what I mean? That's where the problems are gonna be kicking in, and that's where Xbox have been comfortable for the last few months. They released the console months ago. They didn't release it. They showed it off. They had they're moving comfortable. Sony are in problems. You know what I mean? This whole show is an example of it.
Do you not think? No, go on, Femi.
No, go.
No, I was saying, do you not think as well, on the back of obviously with coronavirus and everything else, for me, what are we looking at price wise for the PlayStation 5? They really.
450,
I've heard 600 is.
It could be 6. It could, Femi, you'll be surprised. Remember how much that PS3 was? That PS3 was £600.
Yeah, but I think they've learned the lesson. I'm hoping they've learned the lesson. No,
but there's learning lesson, but then they've tried to keep up with what Microsoft have, and they can't do that. Remember, Microsoft have been making games. This is the thing. Sony were kind of brought in by Nintendo. Do you know what I mean? And they had a partnership with them. Before the PlayStation 1, there was a Nintendo PlayStation, and then they parted ways, and then PlayStation had their own, which was the PS1 and PS2. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even from day one, when the PS2 came out, and then there was the Xbox. That Xbox is more powerful than PlayStation. There's time when PlayStation tried to make PS3, and that they didn't really know what they was doing. They made a powerful console that no developer could take advantage of until 5 years after the PS3 came out. So they've always secretly been in catch up with Microsoft, although Microsoft came after. I say came after, but yet Microsoft was there before because they've been making PC games. You know what I'm saying? So they're more experienced when it comes to this stuff. So
go on.
Go on. What was I going to say?
Like I was saying with the price as well. But I've heard like even the controllers, you're looking at around £80 for them now.
I would believe that.
Buy a controller.
There's so much unnecessary stuff in that controller. People are so amazed.
Is the headset coming with a PlayStation as well?
I doubt that. I would be surprised with the financial crisis they're having with this PlayStation. I would be surprised if they gave all of that. I'll be blown away.
I think for £600, them man need to give something with it because
that's the thing. That's what you think, but they don't.
They don't.
They make money off accessories, and Sony's always had an issue with stock, regardless whether it's PlayStation 3. They've always had an issue with having enough stock. So, for example, go online now and try buy a PS4 controller. Can't find it. It's not. I needed a new PS4 controller not long ago. It's like 2 weeks to find somewhere that was actually in stock at a reasonable price. People are selling PS4 controllers for £80. Right?
This is Sony. Most of Sony's money comes from the PlayStation profits. You know what I mean. With Microsoft, Xbox is not. They're not relying on it. This is what I'm saying. Because although they've lost this entire generation, because when Xbox One came out and PS4 came out, there was a clear. I was so disappointed. I spent like £750 trying to buy a Xbox because you had to pre-order it, and then everywhere I was going, they said no, you have to pre-order.
Yeah.
And I went Leicester Square. I bought Xbox One, but I paid $750. I got home, it was in 720p. Oh my day, it was terrible. They fell off from there.
Yeah.
PS4 was good. I was an Xbox guy, and I had no choice but to say, boy, the PlayStation 4 is better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now, again, we go back to the PS3 when they tried to make hardware that they didn't fully understand. They're making it again where they can't really afford it and make profit from it. They're going to be losing out. Do you know what I mean? So it's difficult.
We look at the comparisons between PlayStation and Xbox. So go on.
No, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so they're looking similar. There isn't a lot of difference between it. I think the other day I said to you lot, there was a small photo that I sent. Although I don't think it covers everything, like Femi pointed out to me when he said he'd seen it. But like for example, the 8-core, the CPU, slightly different in PlayStation and Xbox Series X.
The CPU,
yeah. The GPU is a 10.3 teraflop on the PlayStation 5, where the Xbox Series X is 12 teraflop.
Yeah, that people don't realize how important the teraflops are. Do you know what I mean? That alone makes the Xbox 30% more powerful than the PlayStation. And that you see the 10.3 teraflops, yeah, that's at its peak. That's at the max it hits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of that it'll be between 9 and 10. Do you know what I'm saying? 9 and 10, depending on what game it's about. 10.3 is around the maximum. Do you know what I'm saying? Xbox is 30% more powerful. But then we go to the SSD, yeah, where the PlayStation does have a faster SSD. But what the SSD does, because obviously when I first started the Xbox Series, I was impressed about the loading times and how quick you can flip from games. But in this scenario, the PlayStation will be able to load games quicker. But what would you prefer? Would you prefer your games to load quicker or 5 seconds a bit later for much better quality?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you're right there. I think, bruv, the gaming experience on a whole, bruv. I'm trying to play that game.
You get me? I don't mind waiting 10 seconds more.
Yeah. The thing is with the specs, so when you're looking at the CPU, seeing 3.5 gigahertz and 3.8, what people don't realize is it's not always as simple as that's a faster CPU. Yeah, and this is part of the reason why I was hopeful for PlayStation 5, because I was thinking, all right, cool. At first glance, you might think they're lacking a little bit, yeah. But remember, they're getting these products from the same people, yeah. AMD, the Xbox and thing. It's just they're saying we want it to do this and we want it to do that. So even though they
have their own custom ones,
we want it to be a little bit slower, but then we're taking the speed down so we get a bit of performance here. And then Microsoft said, no, we want it to be fast here and we'll drop there. So it depends. Like you say, what would you rather, yeah? And like I said, it comes down to, do you prefer loading times? Do you want a game that you press it, bang, it's open, no loading times? Or would you rather wait for 5 or 10 seconds and then the game looks and feels a lot smoother and better? Like me personally, I'll go for the smoothness.
And then a big one as well. Memory RAM's the same apparently. SSD is Xbox Series X is 1 terabyte. PlayStation 5 is 125 gig custom.
825, yeah.
Yes, 825 custom, yeah.
So what they're saying with that is that the reason they're saying they're using a smaller SSD is because they believe that games are actually going to get a little bit smaller in the next generation because of the advancement of how fast you can load how fast the CPU can push out the graphics and the SSD can read them. It means that you don't necessarily need to have a lot of things stuck on the RAM. You can actually use the SSD as RAM as well. It's that fast, yeah? So because of that, it means they can hold more in RAM and the assets they're using can be used faster. So that's why they don't necessarily need to use massive high. And also, the main other thing as well is the compression they're using as well. Compression. They're saying that the compression they're using allows them to keep the quality but make the game smaller.
Yeah.
Which is why they've gone for that slightly smaller SSD. And
that sounds like something compared to like zip files. Like if you compress a zip file,
exactly. So like you can send something in a folder, it's going to be 2 gig. Compress it in a zip file, it might be 1.1. You know what I'm saying? And if you press it and open it fast enough, then you're good because you're not really losing too much quality there. think they had that capability, which is why games like Call of Duty got to 200 gig, which is ridiculous.
But, ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah.
But a big one for me, obviously, resolution is 8K sport, same on both really. Frame rate is the same as well. The big point for me though that we need to talk about is backwards compatibility. Yeah.
There we go.
PlayStation, almost all PS4 games optimize PS4 Pro titles. Backwards compatibility on the Xbox X. This is where it gets mad. All Xbox One games selects Xbox 360 and original Xbox games.
Do you know how mad that is? Do you know how mad? Like, if I got an Xbox game sitting there,
you can play the original Halo.
I can play it. I can play it.
First Halo, you could probably bang that on the new Xbox.
And this is what I'm saying about Sony. People on PlayStation have been asking for years, since the PS3. Yeah. And even party chat, it took them 9 years to put party chat in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't think they really care that much about their consumers, man.
And also, the other thing as well is like, you see the backwards compatibility. I've got to take my hats off to Microsoft for that, because it's straightforward. Like, everyone thinks, bro, why can't you just make it work with? It's not that simple, do you know what I mean? Because it's a completely different set of hardware, completely, like, everything's different. They're starting from scratch with computers. So for them to be able to go back, in my opinion, looking at what I'm seeing, means they've been forward thinking in the past. They've been thinking we need to make our architecture in a certain way, so that when we do need to progress, it's not a problem for us to say, all right, cool, let's add that. I'm saying they thought about it. Sony have always been on this generation now, forget the other generation, this generation now, which is why they got into that mess with the whole, we can't do the backwards compatibility thing. Because it's irritating. Like, things like GTA 5, you don't want to buy the game 4 times. Like, if it's been out for long, you just want to be able to take it out of my PS4 and put it into my PS5. You know what I'm saying? That's what I should be able to do.
But,
so yeah.
But you think as well, what was I going to say? With the Xbox, a lot of people nowadays, especially, I don't know, with this generation, a lot of things I see, and people will buy, for example, old consoles, Nintendo, the old Nintendo consoles will have it as nostalgia. Same with games as well. People want to play old games. Even myself, I had one of them devices that you could play all the games that used to get on like a GameCube and stuff, on a small little thing like that. And, so people want to play like nostalgia as well. And I feel like
hold on, look,
appeal to that more than PlayStation.
Yeah. Look, I'm an Xbox guy, but I would love to put this in my PlayStation 4 or 5 and just play it. I've had this since the day it came out. You know what I mean? Like, and I've got the Warriors on PS2 and GTA San Andreas. I should be able to just put that in a console and play it. You know what I mean? They're not thinking about.
Imagine, this is what I'm saying, big games. Even in this country, they talk about one of the biggest comparisons on PlayStation 2 to GTA being the Getaway. They were talking about remastering that. Imagine if they'd done that and PlayStation was compatible.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
You know what I'm saying?
I wonder, do you know what? I heard some theories about why they never continue making Grand Theft. I mean, what was it, Getaway? I heard the government didn't like how London was represented and stuff, but that was a good game. That was a good game.
Sick.
They need to bring that back.
Too realistic, man. But that's what I'm saying. For me, I was till I watched this launch, bruv, you couldn't tell me, where I didn't do a lot of research before, you couldn't tell me Xbox, and Ro knows this, me even sitting in the studio debating, flipping.
Yeah, I'll say this for time to everybody.
I wasn't even trying to hear what Ro said, and and PlayStation 4. But bruv, at the moment now, I'm setting my ways, and I think that this launch has changed it. I think they've lost a lot of customers through this, personally. I think the price, and I've also heard as well from friends who are in, sort of watch the launches into gaming like we are. One of them was saying, obviously, what Microsoft are looking to do is not put the price up too much due to coronavirus. I don't think I mentioned that already, but Microsoft are trying to keep the prices similar.
But remember what I said, about Sony relying on PlayStation for their profits, and Microsoft not really. That's not this is why, even though they released a terrible console last generation, they still made the Xbox One X, because they still have this love for games and developing better ideas and stuff. Although they're literally in the back of the line, they're behind PlayStation, they're behind Nintendo Wii. Like Nintendo, the Switch. I think the Switch has sold more consoles than the Xbox. But yet Microsoft still go full drive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I've heard is that when the consoles come out, like Microsoft are deliberately gonna make it somehow cheaper or the same price as PS5 for like the first year or so. That's what I've heard, yeah. And that's realistic. Because if PlayStation, I mean, if Sony are willing to release a console they can't afford that they built and lose a bit of money, then I think Microsoft would do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. John,
it's mathematically possible. They're gonna lose money. So they will lose money.
The pricing's an interesting one for me. So, what a lot of people don't realize, one is no matter what they set the prices at, if for one, realistically, for what you're paying, it is actually good value for money for gaming. So, for example, if you were to try and build a PC with those specs, it's not happening. You're not building a PC that is running those games at £500, like consistently at that kind of consistent level. Happening. You can build. Don't get me wrong. You can build a good gaming PC for £500, but really getting those blazing fast speeds, low time. I mean, not like the way they're going to do it. So you got that. And secondly, people will pay for the console they love. It's as simple as that. We've seen it with Apple. We've seen it with all these other companies. People will sit up all night. They can make it £1,000. There's going to be people out. There's going to be lines. Going to be sold out regardless. It's not going to not sell. So they're aware of it as well. So it's their responsibility to think, okay, cool. We don't want to lose money, but we don't want to bump our customers at the same time and kind of ruin our fan base. Let's set the price here. And I think what's going to happen is I reckon the Xbox is going to come out and it's going to be about £600 for the best Xbox that comes out at the time, and then you might drop to like 500 for like the basic one or whatever. And I think Sony's going to be somewhere in between the 550, 450 for their basic. That's what I think. I think Sony might just be a touch cheaper, but I don't think there'll be much in it. Not enough to make. I'm not going to go for this one based on price. I think it'll just be
maybe. Now let's talk about very quick. Last point. The shape of that Wi-Fi box, bro. Now you've got two angles, You've got a Wi-Fi box and a trash can, which people are saying, So one are saying there's a trash can in your bedroom, the Xbox. The other one's looking like a Sky Wi-Fi box. Even I'm sitting here thinking, I've already got a Sky Wi-Fi box in my front room.
What another one for, isn't it?
You know what the truth is,
It looked like that bike out of Tron. That's what the PlayStation reminds me of.
It's true. You know what the truth is, though? The PlayStation design does look better than it. I think both of them are terrible. They're both terrible. I think they're both terrible, but
Madam said the Xbox X was
over the days, I don't know what the PlayStation. The look of it is growing on me. Like I'm starting to like the look of it day after day. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm coming from me, Xbox. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think they put more effort into the design of their console than Xbox have. But at the same time, I don't know, because at the same time, Xbox had to design it a certain way to get their hardware and the fan on top of the console the way they needed it to. So I think,
I'm sitting here thinking,
the design's my last worry.
It's last worry. Although you'll be surprised at how many people will buy a console that I've seen online based off just the design of how it looks. Like I've seen certain men go, I'm not buying the Xbox because it looks like a PC computer, and then go, but I'll buy the PlayStation because it looks sick. And it's
that's the thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like the look of the Xbox.
I like the look of the Xbox.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
But then I'm also the guy that liked the look of the old Mac Pro that was also a trash can. I personally thought that was quite a cool look. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone's like, why are we making a big hole in the middle? I'm not gonna lie. I like the thought that Microsoft have done it in that way because it was what was best for the console.
Yeah.
That's
how they've done that because they want it to look like that, not because they had any performance gain. But Microsoft have definitely done that because there's definitely a performance gain for doing it in that shape. Do you know what I'm saying? They thought, if we make it a bit wider and a bit taller, we can do this, and this, and it will allow us to keep cooling down. And so, I mean, and like I said, a square box, can you really be mad at a box? It's not a box. Like, you can't really be mad at that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think, do you know what it is? Yeah, like, I think the PlayStation, if you look at that appearance, bro, like, you got like Sky Q, the box. I think the next generation of a Skybox is going to look similar to that PlayStation, bro. I'm not going to lie.
Yo, that one looks like it streams 8K Sky Sports. I'm telling you that.
Listen, I'm expecting Eurostar, La Liga TV, like everything. You know that one.
Everything on that one there. Everything. No signal problems, nothing.
That's another thing as well. It's going to be, obviously, like I said to you, it's a crazy one. I mean, for me, I think I've changed. That I'm set that I'm buying out the Xbox. Obviously, Femi, what are you buying? Or do you know yet?
As of right now, I'm not gonna lie, it's looking like an Xbox. And to be honest with you, before about 2-3 weeks ago, I was saying Xbox. I
said this to you as well, though. We both said.
I was saying Xbox. And I don't know what it was. Something. I was watching a video on a developer. He was breaking down the Sony reveal, the original reveal, talking about all these things. Because, you know, sometimes it can just be a lot of garbage. Like, you don't understand what they're really saying. So when you got someone breaking it down into layman's terms, you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense. I can see why they're doing this now. And I sort of think, okay, maybe they're onto something here. But then that reveal, Xbox, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not spending my money on a PlayStation.
I don't even need to ask you what you're getting, bro.
Yeah, you know I'm gonna get an Xbox. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get an Xbox. Yeah, but you see me when it comes to games, I do waste money on the games and stuff. Yeah, so I know I will buy the PlayStation 5 as well. But hopefully, God willing, at the time I can afford to do that. I would like to have both of them, so I can, again, in this generation, have a valid opinion of both sides. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact after 2 weeks or even a week that PlayStation 5 is going into CX. I know it. I just want to be able to test it. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to play it. I know it's going to end up in CX. Yeah, it will. They know me and they're well. They know how many PlayStations. They know me very well.
Well, they just see Row, another PlayStation.
I swear to God. When I go in there, yeah, they know. Like this, they got to a point where they stopped testing the consoles. They was like, just take it, man, just take it. You know what I mean? But yeah, Xbox.
My man said he got special treatment, bro. In CX, I'm done, bro.
But it's just the thing is, yeah, I'm an online player, and PlayStation has 0 online games, multiplayer games.
Yeah,
all story mode.
Big thing before we go, just to say that obviously for me with online, Femi may disagree with me, but he may look at it from a different point because we both have PS4. Like for me, I look at like the PlayStation store, and compared to the Xbox now, which I know my brothers have got and my brother's got, etc. And he's telling me about all these games you can download, mad library of games.
Crazy. They keep saying we have no games. That's the biggest lie.
It's a mad library of games. Yeah. Now PS4, I look at the games, and to be quite honest with you, they do put some decent games on there sometimes, but they fill their library up with a lot of like anime games. I feel like just better anime games.
Indie games.
No one plays these games.
And it's just like, and obviously with like I said with Xbox, you know, like the compatibility thing is going to be massive. There can be bare people, maybe not younger but older, that have older games in a box under their bed. Yeah. And they're just like, bruv, take them out and they can slap them in. Maybe, like I said, I don't think all of them are going to be compatible, but I think the main big games will be.
But at least we're there. At least they're trying. Do you know what I'm saying? At least they're trying their best, and I respect that. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know, I think at the end of the day, we've got to realise both consoles are going to sell. Like, people are going to buy them. It's just, I just think people are going to, I feel like this year, like, you ain't going to be the only one going into CEX, bro. Like, PlayStation. I think, bro, I think personally, if I could get both, if I was in a position to get both, I don't think I'd even do it, because for me personally, like, even, I just don't know, I'm not looking at like a PlayStation, bro.
No, but this is the thing. Like, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, that game was one of the best games. I love Xbox, but that game was amazing. That was an adventure.
Can I tell you something now? Yeah, I played the first one because I played them sort of games. It was all right. Like, I still haven't finished it. It was all right. Shall I tell you the worst game I played that PlayStation released? I think it was exclusive to PS4. No, sorry, it wasn't the worst game. It was a good game.
The delivery game.
Yeah, Death Stranding.
Are you admitting it now, yeah?
Femi, I will admit I have mixed opinions about this game. Depending on the mood I'm in, I'm not saying it's good some days, other days I'm saying it's shit.
You know, this guy's been defending this game for time.
No, but Femi, I agree with you. But some days I'm like, this game is shit. So imagine when I bought it, but the game cost £50. Yeah, £50.
Yeah.
And so I started playing it for a couple of days, and I was like, "Nah, this game's bare shit." Like I just don't know what's going on. I'm being when it rains, I get attacked by demons. It's nuts, bro. Yeah. So
I watched YouTube, and I saw the guy carrying 25 packages on his back down a mountain, and he took one slip and dropped all of them. I said, I will break my controller. For 14 minutes, I've seen this guy walk from one side of the map to the other side of the map. Like Book of Eli. Have you seen Book of Eli? The guy's walking for time. I was like, no, I can't dedicate my time to this game. No way,
but you know what it is, yeah? I said that. However, when I carried on playing it, that's at the start of the game. When you get into the game, you get into more fight scenes and shootings, but it takes long to get into it. And it's a classic. It was made by Hiro Kashima, the guy who done Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, he's made big game. I like Metal Gear Solid 5. Metal Gear Solid 5.
Are nuts.
I love that.
Yeah, the graphics are nuts. Like the landscape, you've seen it on YouTube. Very detailed game. And tell it's been made very well. However, that was probably the worst game, and it was a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah, so we're talking about games. That's what I'm saying. See, Xbox, I pay £10 a month. Yeah,
I've heard about this.
Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass. Yeah, so like let's say, for example, Halo Infinite comes out, Gears of War 6 comes out. All of that, any of these new exclusive Xbox games, you get it for free when you have this subscription. People don't realize how big this membership is, and it's not just Xbox games. The other day, we've got Red Dead Redemption 2 for free, NBA for free. All massive games for free. Pro Evolution Soccer 20 is free on there. There's so much. Metal Gear Solid 5 on it is free.
Right. It's a good point. Sorry.
No, so basically, if a new Xbox game comes out and you've got, so basically the way I see it is that if I can pay $11.99 for my Netflix, I don't mind paying £10 for Xbox Live multiplayer and getting a game, get loads of games for free. Like these are loads of games.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Oh, it's a good thing you said that, because I remember when it was only a couple of weeks ago. NBA was only a couple of weeks ago, and it free. And PlayStation players was like, right, NBA £3.50. Yeah, I'm buying that now. £4.
That's how bad. Do you know how bad that is? It's small. It's a small amount, but that is crazy that they charge people for that.
Yeah, and then obviously it was gas. They was like, what, £4? NBA 20. My whole friends NBA. Yeah. I've seen it was free on Xbox. I'm like, raw.
Is this like you thought you got a bargain?
I thought I got a bargain, but like, all I'm trying to say to myself is, it's only £4. Yeah, I'm trying to say that to myself.
Imagine all the £4.
£4 for a good game, innit?
Yeah.
But then when you deep it, it's like, right, we actually got bumped. We got bumped because they got it free. All them guys got it free, and how many millions of us paid £4 for it?
Exactly. Sony, they take the piss. I'm sorry, if you want to blur that out, I don't. But they take the piss.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, in comparison now, the downfall, just before we go with the consoles, is like with PlayStation's game library thing, similar to what they do with Xbox. They only release 2 free games a month. Very rarely, like that you can download 2 free games a month. You can download if you play for PS Plus. Some of the games are actually shocking, bro. On an odd occasion, they might bring out a fire game, and everyone's like, "Raw." But that must happen once a year, bro. Life, once a year.
No, the last one was what? It was Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2.
Called World War 2 as well.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, but then everyone's thinking, bro, everyone's bought them games though. They were good games. Everyone bought them anyway.
But this is what I'm saying with this, with the PS Now, or is it PS Now or is it PlayStation?
Yeah, PS Now, yeah.
You get these games, these AAA games, but they're old. But with this Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, you're getting Crackdown 3. Like, let's say, cool, Crackdown 3. I enjoyed Crackdown 3, but everyone forgot about that game. But I know I used to play Crackdown 1 and 2 on Xbox. When I heard Crackdown 3 was delayed for years, but I finally got to play it. But in my head, I wouldn't have wanted to pay £50 for that because it's a story game that I know I'm going to complete. And I'm going to spring to CX after a week after completing it.
Yeah.
But with Xbox now, I've got on my membership, I can play the whole game as long as my membership's active. And I'm cool. I don't spend a whole £50. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to be fair, I've always said that the Xbox service is a million times better than the PlayStation service.
Yeah, 100%. It's always been like that.
And like you say, Sony's always been playing catch up with things like the fact they didn't have party chat was an absolute joke. That's the whole reason I did not want to buy a PS3 for that reason. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Once I got my 360, I couldn't go back to PS3 after that. Once I realized how live Xbox Live was, I couldn't. Go back to PS3.
PS3 was the wave, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. We've talked about the console today. We've talked about the circus, like Ro likes to call it, the live
the circus.
The circus that is a PlayStation 5 launch. And then obviously we've talked about the specs and everything else. Let us know in the comments what you think. Tell us what you're going to be getting. And obviously like, share, and subscribe to this video. Subscribe to our channel, like and share. Femi, you want to shout out your Twitch account?
Yeah, so my Twitch is Fifafemz, and Twitter, Facebook. Sorry, not Twitter. Sorry, Instagram is fem.64.
That's it, bro. As well, have you got any new music coming out?
Yeah, soon.
Nah, that's it. Soon.
I've got some there. They're coming soon.
That's it. Do you want to shout out your socials?
Yeah, Instagram is ROW _Black, so Row Black, and Twitter is Row Black _.
That's it, man. And then obviously we've got Waffletop PC for Instagram, Waffletop Podcast for SoundCloud, Spotify, and Facebook, and YouTube, where you can hear obviously the podcasts on Spotify and SoundCloud, our audios. YouTube, where you can see our visuals. We're uploading a lot more videos now to our YouTube channel, so make sure you go and check them out. And then obviously my socials, Paulo A Fernando. It's a long one, bro, but I'll put it in somewhere below so you can see it. And yeah, thank you for watching this episode of the podcast with myself, Ro, and Femi. And yeah, let us know in the comments what you're going to get. Thank you.